Canada could be preparing for changes to the types of express entry candidates it prioritizes. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada has opened consultations on the economic priorities that could shape category-based selection in express entry. And if you're planning to immigrate to Canada through express entry, this is something worth paying attention to. Which skills could Canada prioritize? Could new categories emerge? And what should candidates do now? Here's what we know. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada has opened its 2026 consultation on economic priorities for category-based selection in express entry. The consultation runs from August 4th until September 1st, 2026. Category-based selection isn't new. Canada introduced this approach in 2023 so that express entry could target candidates with particular skills, work experience, or other attributes connected to Canada's economic priorities. But here's the important point. The categories Canada prioritizes don't necessarily have to remain the same forever. IRCC can use changing economic and labor market priorities when determining future category-based selection. So why does this matter? Traditional express entry competition focuses heavily on your comprehensive ranking system, or CRS, score. Your CRS score ranks your express entry profile based on factors including skills, education, language ability, and work experience. But category-based selection adds another dimension. IRCC can conduct a round targeting candidates who meet the requirements of a particular category. That means two candidates with different CRS scores could face very different opportunities depending on the type of draw being conducted. Express entry can include general rounds, program-specific rounds, and category-based rounds. And understanding that distinction is extremely important when you're looking at express entry results. Now, what exactly could change? First, this consultation does not mean that IRCC has already announced a completely new set of express entry categories. That's an important distinction. IRCC is currently seeking input on the economic priorities that should inform category-based selection. So be careful with headlines claiming that a particular occupation is guaranteed to receive priority. At this stage, we're talking about a consultation, not a final announcement of future express entry categories. But it does tell us something important. Canada is actively reviewing the economic priorities that express entry should respond to. And that's something prospective express entry candidates should monitor. Now, what about your CRS score? Don't make the mistake of thinking category-based selection makes your CRS score irrelevant. It doesn't. Candidates still enter the express entry system and are ranked using the comprehensive ranking system. To receive an invitation, you need to meet the requirements of the particular round and have a score high enough for that round's cutoff. That's also why comparing the CRS cutoff from one draw directly with the cutoff from a completely different type of draw can sometimes be misleading. A program-specific draw, a category-based draw, and a general draw aren't necessarily competing for exactly the same group of candidates. So, what should express entry candidates be doing right now? First, don't change your career plans based on speculation about a future express entry category. Wait for official IRCC announcements. Second, continue improving the parts of your express entry profile that you can legitimately strengthen. That could include your language results, education credentials, and qualifying work experience. Third, understand which express entry programs and existing categories you actually qualify for. And finally, Watch the consultation process closely. The current consultation closes on September 1st, 2026, so future announcements following this process will be worth watching. There's also a bigger lesson here. Express entry isn't simply about asking, what's today's CRS score? The type of draw matters, the program matters, the category matters. And Canada's immigration priorities matter. When IRCC conducts an express entry round, it determines the type of round, the number of candidates to invite, and which eligible candidates rank highly enough to receive invitations to apply. Understanding that process gives you much more context than simply watching one CRS number. So, here's the bottom line. Canada is currently consulting on the economic priorities that could help shape category-based express entry selection. The consultation closes September 1st, 2026. This does not mean that new express entry categories have already been confirmed, but it does mean that express entry candidates should pay attention to what comes next. We'll continue following official IRCC announcements and breaking down what they mean for candidates. Subscribe to Canada Immigration Brief for fast, clear, and factual updates on express entry, permanent residence, work permits, study permits, and Canadian immigration. And remember, always verify important immigration decisions using official Government of Canada information. Thanks for watching.